Hello and welcome to your daily sports update. There's so much going on around NFL free agency. We still got conference tournaments ending. We've got a lot of stuff going on. So let's get right into it real quick. We're going to start off with football. And again, there are a lot of signings. So in this case, I'm going to hit these really quick for you. If you find one that you find interesting, then great. Hopefully it works for you. All right, so these are not in any order except for probably when that they happen as opposed to which ones are the top profile ones. We'll get to some of those here in a bit. So running back Aaron Jones, the Packer running back from last year, who was actually released or was told he was being released because the Packers signed Josh Jacobs. Jones ends up going to the Minnesota Vikings, agreeing to a one-year term for $7 million. The Rams are finalizing a 3-year deal to sign cornerback Darius Williams. The Vikings are expected to sign Sam Darnold as a backup quarterback 1 year, or maybe even a starter, a 1-year deal worth $10 million. The reason I say it that way is because Kirk Cousins, the former Vikings quarterback, is now going to be an Atlanta Falcon. We'll get to his contract in a bit. The Jets are signing Tyrod Taylor as a backup. This will be his third time in New York, but the first time with the Jets. The Bengals have are releasing running back Joe Mixon and instead signing Colts former running back Zach Moss. Defensive lineman Leonard Williams is re-signing with the Seahawks on a 3-year, $64.5 million deal. We mentioned Kirk Cousins, Jacoby Brissett, the former Patriot quarterback and Commander quarterback, and I think he was a Colt quarterback too. He's going back to the Patriots on a 1-year, $8 million deal. Patriots also re-signed offensive lineman Michael Onwenu to a 3-year, $57 million deal. Austin Eckler, the former Charger running back, is agreeing to go to the Commanders on a 2-year deal worth up to $11.43 million. The New York Giants trade for Panthers pass rusher Brian Burns and then extend him to a 5-year, $150 million deal. Raiders signed Gardner Minshew on a 2-year, $25 million deal. The Giants signed running back Devin Singletary to a contract. The Packers are signing Xavier McKinney to a 4-year, $68 million deal. Former Giants safety going over to Green Bay. The Panthers agree with offensive lineman Robert Hunt to a 5-year, $100 million contract. Bryce Huff, the defensive end, signing a 3-year, $51.1 million deal with the Eagles. Now we're going to get to some of the bigger names that happened yesterday. So running back Saquon Barkley, the former Giant running back, planning to sign with the Eagles on a 3-year, $37.5 million deal. Kirk Cousins, I said, was going to Atlanta. His contract, 4 years, $180 million. We mentioned Josh Jacobs, the former Raider running back, is going to sign with the Packers, which is why they were able to release Aaron Jones. The Jaguars signed ex-Buffalo Bill Gabe Davis. The wide receiver is going to sign a 3-year, $39 million deal. The Raiders are signing defensive tackle Christian Wilkins, the former Dolphins tackle, to a 4-year, $110 million deal. Vikings are signing ex-Texans pass rusher Jonathan Greenard to a 4-year, $76 million deal. Here's another big name contract that came out. The Titans are actually signing former Cowboy running back Tony Pollard to a 3-year, $24 million contract. Bills are extending left tackle Deion Dawkins on a 3-year extension. DeAndre Swift, signing a 3-year, $24 million deal with the Bears, leaving the Eagles. Michael Pittman and the Colts come to an agreement on a 3-year contract. Eagles guard Landon Dickerson signing a 4-year extension worth up to $87 million deal. And then last that we're going to cover, T. Higgins, a wide receiver for Cincinnati, who was franchise tagged, has requested a trade from the Bengals. We will see what happens with that. I know there was probably more that I've missed, but I gave you a whole ton there. Hopefully your team was covered in it. And if you want more information, it's definitely available online in multiple sites. In baseball, one thing to cover, Former New York Met and Yankee star Darryl Strawberry is recovering from a heart attack. The Met spokesman said Tuesday that Strawberry was stricken on Monday. It was a day before his 62nd birthday. The reason it kind of means something to me is because, as a kid, when I first started watching baseball, Strawberry was in the prime of his career. It was the beginning of his career with the Mets, helping them to win that '86 World Series. So definitely lifting him up and hoping that he gets well soon and quickly. We'll go ahead and cover NHL really quick. There were 4 games on the ice yesterday. The New York Rangers won at home against the Devils 3-1. Rangers improved to 42-18-4 and have a 23-8 record at home. The Winnipeg Jets win at home 3-0 against the Capitals. The Jets improved to 41-18. They also only have 8 losses at home with 2 overtime losses. The Kings with a 3-0 shutout at home against the Islanders. And then the Bruins lose at home against the Blues 5-1. Bruins also only have 8. Well, they have 8 regular losses at home with 6 overtime losses. But those were your 4 hockey games. In women's college basketball, as far as ranked games, we'll cover those real quick. Number 17, Oklahoma loses in the semifinals of the Big 12 Championship, 85-68 to Iowa State. Big game there as Audie Crooks scores 25 points and has 9 rebounds for Iowa State. Number 14, Gonzaga wins in their semifinal game against Pacific, 72-61. Gonzaga was led in scoring by Eliza Hollingsworth, who had 20 points and 12 rebounds. Number 21, UNLV, playing in the Mountain West quarterfinals, win 83-35 at home against Fresno State. Number 5, Texas, in the Big 12 Championship semifinals, win 71-64 at home against number 16, Kansas State. And in the Big East Tournament final, the Connecticut Huskies win 78-42 against Georgetown. UConn was led in scoring by Paige Beckers, who had 27 points, 3 steals, and 5 blocks. UConn won their 22nd Big East Tournament title, and it's the 29th title overall for the Huskies, and they hadn't lost in a conference championship contest since 2013 when Notre Dame was actually still in the Big East. So congrats to UConn as they make their way to the big tournament, and we'll be covering more about that here in the days to come, where we'll actually have a bracket challenge for the men and the women just for the fun of it, and we'll see how we do with that. On the men's side, there were only 2 ranked basketball games that went on yesterday. In the West Coast semifinal, actually both of these games were in the West Coast Conference. Number 17, Gonzaga, wins at home against San Francisco 89-77. I say at home, they were playing in Las Vegas, but they were the home team. Gonzaga was led by Ryan Nembhard, who had 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 12 assists to lead Gonzaga. And number 21, St. Mary's, winners against Santa Clara 79-65. St. Mary's was led in scoring by Alex Dukas, who had 21 points for them. Those were your men's scores. Now, I will say a couple things just to know. James Madison did win the Sun Belt title for their first their first NCAA tournament bid since 2013. And then Samford wins the Southern Conference Tournament Championship. There's their first ever title, and they actually have their 29th win of the season to get to that point. So congrats to them. As far as your top 25 rankings, Houston was still number 1, receiving 52 of the first place votes. UConn was second with 6 first place votes, and Purdue was third with 4 first place votes. North Carolina was 4th, Tennessee 5th, Arizona 6th, Iowa State 7th, Creighton 8th, Kentucky 9th, and number 10 Marquette to round out that top 10 group. So this will probably be the final ranking before we find out all about the tournament, which is coming up this weekend. All right, to finish things off, again, I know we're going super quick here, but we're going to go ahead and talk some NBA basketball. Let's go ahead and let you know that the Orlando Magic have extended Coach Jamal Mosley with a 4-year extension that'll take him through the 2027-2028 season. This year, right now as we speak, the Magic are 37-28 and in 5th place in the Eastern Conference. So it can definitely improve from there. So congrats to him. We'll talk about Luka here in a second and Tyrese Maxey. Alperen Şengün, I've learned how to say it. He avoids major injury with his leg. He has an ankle sprain and a bruised knee. It wouldn't require any kind of surgery. And although he hasn't been rolled out for the final season of the month, but there's a lot of healing that would have to occur before he'd be cleared to play before the season ends. And it's actually here about a month away. So we'll see what happens with him. Unfortunately for the Hawks, forward Saddiq Bey has a torn ACL and is going to miss the rest of the season. The Hawks have already been playing without Trae Young and Jalen Johnson and backup Onyeka Okongwu, but now they've lost another person. Even though they're in 10th place, the final play-in spot, it's just another big loss for the Hawks. So now let's talk some of the scores. There were 6 games on tap yesterday, so we'll hit these really quick. Thank you so much for your patience as we're going through this and just high fire. I see we've only been doing this for 12 minutes, and I feel like we've just covered so much info. So, all right. The Detroit Pistons with another win. They're 11th of the season. They won 114-97 against the Hornets. Pistons were led by Cade Cunningham, who had 22 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. Hornets were led in scoring by Brandon Miller, who had 19 points and 7 assists. For the Hornets, all of their starters were in double figures. Things of note, Grant Williams, starting at the power forward spot, had 22 points. And Nick Richards had 10 points, 13 rebounds for the Hornets. Obviously wasn't enough, as the Pistons also had all 5 of their starters in double digits. They got 22, as we mentioned, from Cade Cunningham with his 8 assists. They also got 20 points and 10 rebounds from Jalen Duren to help lead them to just their 11th victory and their 6th at home. Charlotte dropped to 16-49 on the season. The Suns come back after losing to Boston on Sunday. They come back and win in Cleveland, 117-111 over the Cavaliers. Kevin Durant with a monster game, 37 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. They also got 24 points from Bradley Beal and 27 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds from Devin Booker. Cleveland had Darius Garland score 30 points. They also got 17 points and 11 assists from Karis LeVert. And they got 15 points and 10 rebounds from Jared Allen, but not enough. The Phoenix Suns with a big 117-111 victory. Phoenix improves to 38-27 on the season. The Dallas Mavericks, even though Luka did not get his 30-plus point triple-double, he did get another triple-double and led his team to a 127-92 victory in Chicago against the Bulls. Luka ended up with 27 points, 14 assists, and 12 rebounds. I don't even know this person. Daniel Gafford added 20 points and 7 rebounds. And they got 22 points off the bench from Derek Lively II. He also had 7 rebounds for Dallas. For Chicago, they were led in scoring by, Onruop Bynum, who had 17 points off the bench. For the starters, they got 13 each from DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic. You could tell that they got out early as they both played 26. Nicola 26 minutes, DeMar 22 minutes. So this game was out of hand pretty quick. Dallas with the 127-92 victory. The Golden State Warriors recover and win 112-102 in San Antonio against the Spurs. Chris Paul had 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists, starting in place of Stephen Curry. They also got 21 points from Klay Thompson, who also started, and they got 22 from Jonathan Kuminga to help lead the way. For San Antonio, they got 27 points, 14 rebounds from Victor Wembanyama. They also got 17 points from Devin Vassell, but it wasn't enough. The Golden State with a 10-point victory. The Denver Nuggets, continuing their hot ways, win 125-119 at home against Toronto. Nikola Jokic, another triple-double with 35 points, 17 rebounds, 12 assists. They also got 26 points and 12 assists from Jamal Murray, and they got 19 points each from Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon. For Toronto, they were led in scoring by R.J. Barrett, who had 26 points and 9 assists, 7 rebounds. They also got 24 points and 6 rebounds from old Boston friend Kelly Olynyk, but it wasn't enough. Denver with the 6-point victory. And last but definitely not least, the Portland Trailblazers lose at home against the Celtics, 121-99. Boston gets their 50th win of the season as Jaylen Brown has 27 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. They also got 26 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds from Jason Tatum. And Sam Hauser off the bench, 22 points on 6 of 10 shooting from 3, 8 of 12 overall. Portland was led in scoring by DeAndre Ayton, who had 22 points and 15 rebounds. They also got 17 points from Anthony Simons, but it wasn't enough as the Celtics, again, improved to 50-14 with the 121-99 victory. On the season, as we look at the standings, we're still looking at Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, New York, Orlando, Philly as your top 6. Indiana, Miami, Chicago, and Atlanta as your final 4. Now, the Hawks have a 3.5-game lead on Brooklyn. So as long as they can hold on, they should be able to at least play Chicago and hopefully play for the 8th seed and maybe even the 7th. In the Western Conference, Oklahoma City leads the way. Only have a half-game lead on Denver, 1.5 on Minnesota. Then you got the Clippers at 3.5 back. New Orleans and Phoenix round out your top 6. Sacramento, Dallas, the Lakers, and Golden State are your final 4. Golden State has a 5-game lead on Houston. All right, we are done. A whole bunch of sports, and I feel like there's going to be a bunch more coming up today, especially with NFL free agency. So tune in tonight, or I guess technically tomorrow morning, and we'll be able to help cover those. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Until tomorrow, hope that you have a great day.